Hello and welcome to the Unstarving Musician podcast. I'm Rabanzo. On this podcast, I have conversations with indie music artists and industry professionals intended to help independent music artists better understand the marketing, business, and creative processes that empower us to do more of what we love. Wait for it. Make music. Almost nailed it. Hey, how you doing? I hope great. I'm doing pretty good today. It's been a productive day. I tried to start out with a win. What did I do first thing? Well, I went for a walk with the dog. I exercised today. Not in that order. I had coffee. 2 cups. That got me going. But it's been a good day. I hope yours has been great. I have a couple of recommendations I want to share with you, which are music or creative related. The first one's actually a movie, but just thought I'd share these things with you. Some things I ran across recently that I think are really cool. First of all, actually, the first one's not a movie. It's a podcast worthy of a listen. It's not this podcast, but Sean Carroll's podcast. It's called Sean Carroll's Mindscape. And in this particular episode, I'm going to leave a link in the show notes for Rick Beato discusses the theory of popular music. It's a great look and listen, different kind of look and listen at music theory and popular music. I really enjoyed it. And if you haven't checked out Rick Beato's YouTube channel, it's very cool too. Very cool. I also discovered a new indie kind of folk rock artist named S.G. Goodman. Found her on Mark Maron's WTF podcast, one that I listen to regularly. I'll put a link to her site in the show notes, but I dig her. I'd never heard her before, but she can just be found at sggoodman.net. And on Mark Maron's podcast, of course. I'll put a link to that episode in the show notes, I think. I'll put one there, since I said I would. And then the last one is that I saw this great flick. Me and the wife saw this great flick called Dark Waters on Netflix. It's based on a true story about a defense attorney who takes on DuPont to expose a lengthy history of pollution. I was kind of on the edge of my seat, and it had a happy ending in a way, but I wouldn't call it a happy movie, but it has a positive note at the end. Before I get into today's topic, by the way, it's just me today. No guest. I hope that excites you. Before I get into that, though, I also wanted to let you know that I have a new music video. It's actually my first music video, like something I tried to make for one of my songs. The song that it's for is called New Gods Part 2, which I released last year in 2021. I co-wrote it with Peter Rand, who I discovered on the collaboration website called Compose. That's spelled with a K and a Z, compose.com. And it was mixed and mastered by Chris Responte, who also plays on the track with me and Peter. And those guys have both been featured on the podcast. I'll put links to their episodes in case you are interested in hearing those. But the music video is on my brand new artist YouTube channel. So I'm going to put a link in the show notes. If you like it, please subscribe. There's a few other videos there. It's brand new, but if you like it and want to see more, please subscribe. Because, getting a YouTube channel going is all about views and subscribers, right? I don't know how much it all means, but certainly means people are paying a little bit of attention, so that would be great. So this episode is titled, Why Do I Need a Musician Website? You might have caught that when you hit the play button, but it actually applies to any business or entrepreneurial venture and really just about anything you think you can or have been sharing exclusively on social media. And I'll get to that second part momentarily. But first, I want to acknowledge a Bandzoogle blog article on this topic. Their article, I'll put a link in the show notes, is 10 Reasons Why You Need a Website. Okay, so let's just dive into it. Listen, having a music website signals industry professionals that you're taking your music seriously. And I don't care if you're like a full-time music artist or you're doing it part-time or you call it a hobby, but you're trying to get gigs. We're talking about impressing venues, PR agencies, labels, talent buyers, media outlets, and fans. It's also a space, your website, that you own and control. Unlike social media platforms where we are the product. You've heard that before, certainly. Have you ever heard stories about people running a business or community exclusively on a popular social media channel, only to have the whole thing dismantled by algorithm changes? I have. I've heard more than one story like that, and I giggle a little bit, but it's not funny. It's kind of sad. And hopefully the reasons for that become clear to you by the time we're done here. With your own website, you own the experience. You create and control all of the content. Everything about you is in one place. It makes it easier for someone to help promote your music and understand who you are as a musician or band. And I'm going to say musician a lot, but this really applies to bands. Or I might say bands, but I use them or think of them interchangeably. A website enables you to create a unique brand that will showcase your vibe, your personality, what you're all about. And that's really important. It's more permanent than social media, which I alluded to a moment ago. So today, as I record this, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are all great platforms to promote your band and your music, but they subject you rather to changes in algorithms or buyouts. You aren't at the mercy of paid posts or low organic reach when you have your own website. You can direct anybody at any time to your own website, and that's important. Plus, not everyone in the music industry is on Facebook, but they can all access your website. And I say they're not all on Facebook. Maybe they're not on Instagram. Maybe they're not on TikTok or whatever the social media platform du jour is. You can show your band's unique personality without the confines of a feed or a restricted number of characters like on many of the social sites. A website can be designed in any way you can imagine. Think about that. And you can get a lot of help these days with many of these platforms. Most of them, really. You don't have to be a designer. I mean, you will be, in essence, a designer once you get in there putting one together. But you don't have to be a designer in the truest sense because these platforms are really great. You no longer have to be able to code. I'm not saying that doesn't help, but you don't have to know how to code anything. You don't have to know HTML or CSS or any of these other things you may have never heard of. And it can be based on your latest album artwork, or you can set a visual tone that reflects the vibe of your music. You can get as personal as you would on social media with blog posts and photos. And compelling content that you create that shows off your music is the reason that fans will keep returning there. You can also sell music and merch directly to your fans. If you've started to build a fan base, you can and should add merch and music to your website as something that they can buy from you. You can add an EPK to your website or an electronic press kit. Booking agents and promoters will check out your website before booking you for a show, guaranteed. Yeah, they want to look at your social, but they will look for your website too. You can use this to your advantage by showcasing your best work and including your most recent music and videos in an EPK, an electronic press kit, directly on your website. You can also use your EPK to garner press for an upcoming album or single or to reach out to radio stations. Think of your EPK as sort of a one-pager where talent buyers and promoters can find everything out about you right there, easily. A website is really good for organic SEO or search engine optimization. You can do a number of things that will make your website search friendly, such as adding text to your pages that mentions your artist name and your latest music, and you can also choose a custom domain that represents both of those things, your artist and band name. And as a result, Google will match your band keywords like album titles, tracks, band members, etc. to your website. And having your music website come up in the top search results gives you more authority than social media does. Absolutely, 100%. It's one of the best ways to build your mailing list, and this one is near and dear to my heart. It's probably the number one reason I created my very first artist website at robonzo.com. Reaching fans by email is still one of the best ways to create direct fan connections. People still open those, believe it or not. And on your website, you can offer free track a free track download in exchange for an email address to build momentum for your list. Keeping in touch regularly by email is also an excellent way to promote your upcoming releases, tour dates, and crowdfunding campaigns. You can get great insight into fan data and go as deep as your heart desires with website metrics so that you can tailor your marketing efforts. A lot of platforms have these that data really integrated, but there are many third-party tools that you can really get into the weeds with to find out where people are coming from and get some demographic info so that you can try to appeal to the people who are digging your music and not just people that you think are digging your music. Possibly most importantly, you have complete control, and I think that's how the conversation started here, or that's my point. You have complete control. It's really your very own hub online to post and curate any content you like. You can take advantage of this space by making a website that really embodies your sound and speaks to your audience. So you can use your website to create authentic relationships with your fans to see you through your next career move, your next gig, be it a new single, a show, a tour, a video, a competition, whatever it is. So if you're serious about your music, you'll want to invest in a website. It'll truly become your one-stop shop on the web for your music, your bio, merchandise, press kit, and more. And all with your own unique design. It'll really boost your appearance of professionalism within the music industry, within the local music community, and with your fans. That's really important. There are so many platforms available that help you with all of these things that I mentioned. So don't let the technology slow you down. And in fact, in the near future, I'll be offering some things that will help you out if you're kind of looking for help and don't know where to find it or just can't find the right help. I hope you enjoyed that. Special thanks again to Bandzoogle for a great blog post on the 10 reasons why you need a website. I started looking around. I thought I can just write this, but I started looking around at different articles, and theirs was absolutely one of the first ones. And I always think of those guys first when I'm looking at these kind of things, or often do, because we're kind of palsy. Me, the unstarving musician that is in Bandzoogle. All right, please check out my video, my new music video on my brand new artist YouTube channel. And if you like it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. This episode was powered by Bandzoogle, the platform for musicians and bands to build a great website, manage direct-to-fan marketing and sales. Bandzoogle features great design options, a commission-free store to sell music, merch, and tickets, and so much more. Try it free at bandzoogle.com and use the promo code ROBONZO, ROBONZO, to get 15% off your first year. And I'll put a link to all that in the show notes, of course. And I hope that you can support the podcast by following or subscribing on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you really love what you heard today, if you really love what I do, if you find value in it, please go to unstarvingmusician.com/crowd sponsor. Really, this podcast exists solely through the support of its listeners, and we accept direct financial support, which is greatly appreciated, but there are several other options which don't cost you a thing monetarily for supporting the podcast. Again, learn more at unstarvingmusician.com/crowd sponsor. And by the way, I love hearing from listeners of the podcast. If you have thoughts, feedback, suggestions you'd like to share with me, you can go to unstarvingmusician.com from the link in your podcast app even and find all my contact info. You might have to scroll to the bottom of the page, but I think there's a contact link that'll take you right there. And you can email me from there, text me, leave me a voice message right there from your device browser. I can't think of how I could possibly make it easier. So if you do want to reach out to me, please do. All right, I'm peacing out with a whole lot of love and gratitude. Take care, stay kind, and stay well.